Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So there's plenty of ways you can earn with crypto, and most of them are related to exchanges. As you may know, if you are a regular here, I do a lot of content about creating liquidity pools, earning passive income based on that. You can use multiple exchanges, multiple blockchains to do so. ORCA is one of those. ORCA is one of the leading exchanges on Solana. It is a decentralized exchange. So in this one, you have to connect your own crypto wallet, provide liquidity, or recently they added this in the past month of September, xORCA. So you can actually stake your ORCA tokens here in order to get a share of the protocol generated revenue. All of the pools will generate some passive income in the shape of fees whenever people trade the tokens in the pool, but there's always going to be a portion of that profit that is going to go to the protocol. And that's where this stake feature comes into play, because in here you can liquid stake your ORCA, you receive xORCA, and by doing that you will earn rewards funded by the ORCA's protocol fees. So this is inserted actually in a broader campaign that ORCA came up with in order to value their token. So to remove some sell pressure, of course, and also give holders some benefits for just holding the token and staking it here. So being it also a liquid stake token, you can still use it in other DeFi opportunities, you can sell it. But of course, if you sell it, you cannot then go and unstake, because if you click here unstake, you will see that you'll have to unstake by using xORCA. So xORCA works like any other liquid staking token. You'll have to see it as a sort of receipt for your staking position. Now, is this a good option? Well, it is an interesting option, but if it's good or not, it's going to depend on you. Do you plan to hold ORCA for the long run? Because if you are, this can be something good. You can take advantage of it, earn some percentage of the ORCA's protocol fees, or you can also, as an alternative, come here to the liquidity pools, find some ORCA pools, because what's going to happen is that they are funding buybacks. They are going to use these protocol generated fees to fund buybacks of the ORCA token. So if you go and use these pools, likely you will benefit from that. So you don't necessarily need to stake your ORCA tokens. You can also find some liquidity pools to take advantage of that. Of course, if you do that, go with wide ranges, all right? Don't go with narrow ranges. You'll miss out a ton for sure, especially if you're a beginner. I think liquidity pools work best with wider ranges. Go with 50%, start with that, see how it goes for you. The longer run it would be, the wider the range you should set, I would say. That's my honest take on it. And then just pair it with Sol, maybe USDC. I tend to prefer pairing tokens with stables, but you know, ORCA is very much correlated with Solana. It's a big DEX, a big token on Sol, so it's going to always reflect what Solana is doing. If Solana goes up, ORCA likely will go up. If Solana goes down, ORCA likely will go down. And that is very important, because when you're working with these volatile assets, correlation is an important feature, because when it's chopping sideways, it doesn't mean that the price is keeping itself stable. It just means that the price is correlated. So if both tokens go up in price, it will still show up here in the chart chopping sideways, and the same thing for if they go down in price. As long as the tokens move up together in price, either it be up or down, it doesn't really matter. It will reflect in the chart as it's a stable chart, okay? It's chopping sideways. If you see the chart going up or down, tokens are not correlated enough in that time frame. So Solana price can go up while ORCA goes down, or vice versa, for example. So essentially the price movement, it's not keeping up with one another. They're moving differently, okay? Of course, if you don't want to worry about that, stablecoin pairs with ORCA will be a better choice for you. But of course, this is an alternative to the staking feature here. The APR will change, okay? It's showing really good APR, 112%, but this is always going to be volatile. It's going to be an estimated APR based on the average 24-hour rewards annualized. And of course, the USD value of the APR is also dependent on the market price of ORCA. And of course, you have some market exposure because you're holding a token, but you have to understand there's different liquidity layers on Solana. ORCA is a big liquidity layer. The TVL here doesn't really matter all that much, although it's still important to see how deep the liquidity is on the DEX, and the deeper it is, the better, because it can handle much more trades, and that means much more fees. So you see here, these are the annualized fees. It's a key metric of ORCA, $133 million. But let me scroll down. So fees are just whenever people are trading tokens on ORCA's liquidity pools, they will pay fees, and these are just the fees from many quarters. But we can, instead of seeing this quarterly, let me go with yearly. So far through this year of 2025, which there's still a few months to go, we already have some generated fees in the order of 153 million with ORCA. Then from those fees, there's going to be a portion that's going to go to the protocol treasury. That's what the revenue stands for. Earnings is the revenue of the protocol minus the incentives distributed to users, and then token holder net income. This is what we just covered about staking ORCA in order to get xORCA and earn a share of the fees generated by the protocol. 20% of the protocol fees allocated for xORCA holder buybacks and burns. So they're definitely going to put some buy pressure on the token, and ORCA, as we can see, it's pretty much taking a hit, as the whole market has lately. Not long ago in September they were over $2, and right now they are just a bit above $1 per token. This is just crypto volatility in the markets as usual. If you are panicking because you bought at 2, of course this is not financial advice, but I wouldn't bother all that much because ORCA is a long-term token. They are a leading DEX on Solana. They have been around for a while. So the token going down reflects the market, but as long as the protocol keeps operating and being a leading point for people to trade tokens on Solana, it's not a bad thing. Actually, you could look at it as being on sales and buying the dip, of course, but everyone tells you to buy the dip when the market is crashing. The thing is that I do see some utility on ORCA on the Solana ecosystem. So let's go here with daily candles. So back in, when was it? 2023, we didn't see this price since then, and then it's just skyrocketed. It went to $7, so this was crazy, a whole roller coaster. But my point is, ORCA is a good DEX. They keep on developing it. It holds a significant part of the liquidity in the Solana ecosystem, and not only that, a lot of the volume. So actually, let me go here. These are the DEX's volume for the past 24 hours. So you can compare DEXs in between each other, right? The leading DEX is Uniswap. Presence on 33 chains. Volume for the past day, 1.6 billion. Then PancakeSwap, which is also a huge DEX. Curve, Radium. And actually, Radium is the first DEX from the Solana ecosystem that shows up. PancakeSwap also recently launched on Solana, and I think Uniswap will do the same if they haven't so far. Although they already have Solana here, I believe. Do they? Actually not, but I think they already support swaps on Solana. PancakeSwap for sure, it supports also LPing on Solana, not just swaps. But then you have Radium, you have Meteora, you have ORCA, and ORCA is a dedicated DEX on Solana, right? The same as Meteora. The main difference between them is that Meteora handles a lot of memes and ORCA not so much. But ORCA is older than Meteora. They have somewhat of other differences when it comes to LPing there. So if you're yield farming, they provide different tools for you to yield farm, but Meteora is mostly dedicated to other tokens such as memes, the same as Pump Fun. And Pump Fun here, actually they have lower volume than ORCA, and that's also because they're a launchpad and much of the meme craziness is out of the way with these market conditions. If things change and the market takes an upswing, Bitcoin, let's say, goes to 100k once again, probably we'll see some more degen activity, swapping tokens on Pump Fun, and this will go up in DEX volume. But ORCA has been consistently being a top DEX on Solana for the past few years, and even in the overall ranking of DEXs, they're a top 10 DEX as it is of now. So holding its token will also give exposure to the Solana ecosystem. Like I said before, if Solana price goes back up to $200, ORCA price will naturally follow along. But the main point I want to share with you on this video is that there's many ways you can earn with crypto. Providing liquidity is one of them. Having exposure to DEXs is another. If you understand how things work, how liquidity flows in crypto, in DeFi, in blockchains, you will see that DEXs are the heart and soul of it. And in the future, I believe centralized exchanges will decrease in usage as people get accustomed to be on chain. If that's the case and ORCA is still around, it can be a good opportunity. So understand this, understand how DEXs work, and you can make money with crypto even on down markets because they don't shut down. They still work works 24/7, but let's take a closer look at how this xORCA flywheel works. Number one, you stake ORCA, right? You get to mint and receive xORCA based on the current exchange rate, which is shown here. Then trading fees that ORCA generates daily will allow the protocol to buy back their native token ORCA. Portion of ORCA's protocol fees are used to programmatically buy ORCA and deposit it into the staking pool as rewards without minting any new xORCA. These ORCA buybacks will drive higher xORCA value. With every ORCA buyback deposited into the staking pool, each xORCA redeems for a larger amount of ORCA. Also very important, you can unstake at any time, but there's a 7-day cooldown period which will apply. No yield is earned during the cooldown. And all of this is verifiable on chain, okay? So there's no shady business here. ORCA is a reliable protocol. It's a good DEX. It's actually one of my favorites. I do a lot of content about PancakeSwap, but I actually favor ORCA's UI. I think it's much better. It's awesome not only for beginners, but also for more advanced users when LP farming. ORCA, it's great overall, I think. And if we look, let's go back here on DeFiLlama. If we look at Solana, let's see Solana chain, you will see that most of the volume, it's actually going through ORCA. Solana has 8.7 billion in TVL right now. The DEX's volume is 2.6 billion, but here we find DEX's volume. So this is overall volume, right? For the past 24 hours. So we had 2.7 billions in volume just generated by DEXs for the past 24 hours. And here on ORCA, we see that the past 24 hours generated in fees $317,000. Meteora has 1 million and Radium is very close to 400 million. Fees paid by protocol, we have Jupiter leading the game, PumpSwap, then Meteora. These are the top three, but then we still have ORCA down here with the already mentioned $370,000 in fees for the past day. I think it's a cool way to generate passive income. Investing in DEXs. I like DEXs, I like yield farming. This might not be for everyone, but it's a very passive way for anyone to generate passive income in crypto. It's more passive than liquidity pools, to be honest. Although with pools you can always work with ranges. The wider the range it is, I do advise people, especially beginners, to go with wider ranges. Double digits ranges like 40, 50, 60% ranges would be good ones to start with. The wider it is, the more passive it will be, of course, but this is 100% passive. As long as the protocol operates, your ORCA staking here will increase in value due to this flywheel that they just put in motion. But before wrapping up, let's just go over ORCA's thread on X explaining how everything works. So this is a past post, actually. It's not the one I wanted to share with you, but we'll get there. So this one shows up how good it has been performing. xORCA appreciated over 18% versus ORCA. So that means if you stake this at a 1-to-1 rate, now you already on profits because the rate just increased. And that's the whole thing behind it. That's what they want to keep on happening. Buybacks, building up value for ORCA. Hopefully as time goes by, this rate keeps increasing, which means that if you want to unstake, you'll get more ORCA out than you staked in. And not only that, hopefully the ORCA token value will be higher than when you staked in or when you bought your bag. If you bought in at a price above current rates, also you can look at it as an opportunity for you to generate some passive income also with the liquidity pools, but just play the game the long run, because ORCA, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They're a big DEX on Solana. I kept mentioning that on this video just to showcase they're a big pillar of Solana, okay? As long as they keep providing value, the same value or more, because there will be novelties added to the protocol as time goes by, likely the token value can increase. So it's just a matter of time, riding the wave. Everyone posts about crypto when markets are hot, but right now, I'm not saying we're in a bear market, but it's definitely cooling down a little bit. Bitcoin went under 100K, so things are adjusting. But if you play crypto the long run, if you get accustomed with these protocols which are reliable, battle tested, and they are pillars in DeFi, this is actually a very solid way to earn with crypto. So check out this other post. Number one DEX on Solana Bitcoin volume. And this is what I meant before when I was just comparing ORCA with Meteora and some others. ORCA has great liquidity pools with blue chip assets. So it doesn't matter if we're in a bull market or bear market, as long as there's activity generating fees within these blue chip assets, you'll earn something. Number one retail DEX on stablecoin volume, they're leading plenty of metrics. Number one DEX on LST volume, number one DEX on project token volume, 6.7 ORCA staked, over 25,000 ORCA rewards deposited in the last 24 hours. So yeah, they're pushing this, of course. It's their latest thing, their latest product that ORCA offers. Okay, so this is the original post, September the 29th, when this whole program went live. It's a whole thread, so let's go over it. Introducing xORCA, an innovative way to access a portion of ORCA's protocol fees by simply holding xORCA rather than farming or claiming airdrops. So it's simple and completely passive, like I told you. Since mid-April of this year, ORCA DAO enabled weekly programmatic buybacks in the open market funded by 20% of protocol fees. The vision to align incentives with protocol performance to ORCA holders is why xORCA was created. It strengthens the case for long-term holders backed by revenue from a multi-year staple in Solana that's solidified product market fit. Now this is important, where the yield comes from, because many people think crypto is magic internet money. Well, it's not. Actually, there's utility behind this. So traders pay fees when they trade on ORCA. 12% of those fees go to the protocol. 20% of these 12% is then used to buy ORCA. The purchased ORCA is programmatically deposited into xORCA Vault. So this was back when the exchange rate was at 1-to-1. So people who are very early on, they are doing good. They have multiplied their ORCA. There are two key optimizations. xORCA gives ORCA holders an avenue to indirectly receive a portion of protocol fee revenue, efficiently earning yield without having to farm or claim airdrops. xORCA may appreciate in value in a more tax-efficient manner than other methods of value accrual, such as yield farming or airdrops, depending on each ORCA holder's individual tax situation and jurisdiction. Then they proceed to tell you how to enter this, stake on orca.so, enter the amount of ORCA tokens, click stake. It's pretty much that simple. So this is the end of the thread. So yeah, it's looking good, it's doing well. It will keep adding buy pressure to the ORCA token. And if you want something which is truly passive based on blockchain activity, this is a good option. I do like to see when DEXs add this stuff on and allow people to tap into not only liquidity pools, but other ways to earn with the protocol while at the same time supporting the protocol. Because remember, you will still have exposure to ORCA's token price. And again, there are other DEXs on Solana, but I really like ORCA. When it comes to UI, they're pretty much the best thing out there. And this is just one of the many ways you can earn with crypto, okay? Although this is very passive, like I said, 100% passive. Actually, staking, it's always like that. So it's really good to see triple digits APR on that. And since crypto and DeFi are all about innovation, I like to see these new things coming up, new ways to support projects, to support crypto, and also earn while we are at it. And what we earn, I keep telling you, it's light years ahead of what traditional finance offers you. Well, I don't want to get too much into it, but traditional finance isn't meant for you to make money. It's meant for people who have money to manage their wealth and grow their wealth. But the common people are much better off, in my opinion, with crypto, with DeFi. If you don't want exposure to volatility, there's always going to be stable coins. And remember, while they sell us that TradFi and the banking system, they're solid, they're not going anywhere, there's always going to be those bubbles, those crashes that no one out of all of those specialist talking heads on TV, no one saw it coming. There's always something that no specialist knows about, or the ones that do know about and warn us about it, they are not given talking space on TV. So we never know, and no one ever knows until everything bursts. So Bitcoin was definitely a revolution. And if you're watching this and thinking you're too late, well, think again, because not long ago Bitcoin was under 50k. But that's enough for today's video, guys. I hope you took value from it. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop a comment if you do. There's other ways to earn with other DEXs. I'll make a video on PancakeSwap as well, since they changed a little bit of their mechanics and currently they work a bit different from what I covered in past videos. So I do think it's very much worth a new video about it. I'll do that soon. So guys, if you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Take care. Keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you on the next one.